down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
All right, Savvy investors, you tuned in to the Savvy Radio Show, where I bring it to you what you need to know to grow as a real estate investor. That was an interesting intro, but anyway, my name is Steve VanCauwenbergh. Yep, the Savvy Radio Show. You tuned in, you're a faithful listener, or this is your first time. You may be weird on this one, but I got this inspiration, and I was like, man, I need to break off this story. It's a true story that I was involved in, and I think that it's a motivating, inspiring story. If you don't know what the goal here is to grow, buy assets, and become better, and to inspire other people. That is the Savvy Radio Show in a nutshell. So let's do this. So I met this guy at a real estate conference years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I think it's longer than that. It was actually in Nashville at the Mr. Landlord Conference. I randomly bumped into this guy. And he is in another state, and we connected real fast, became fast friends, just were talking back and forth all day long. So thing that you need to learn, number one, go to real estate conferences, go to your RIA, go to events, and you can grow with somebody. So, of course, I'm the arrogant Steve VanCauwenbergh. If you don't know that, you'll figure that out real fast. No, I'm just teasing, but I'm trying not to be, but I'm trying to encourage you. But I was actually speaking there, but when I met this guy, he didn't know that I was a speaker. And I wanted to be, that's kind of my deal. I don't want to be a guru. I want to be undercover and make an impact in people's lives and just make a difference. So I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, man, I got 9 houses. I can't borrow any more money. And I'm like, dude, you're dumb. Like, there's so much money out there. You're just not looking. And he never heard the word commercial money before. And that's the money that I borrow. There's banks out there that specifically loan to real estate investors, or there's a division in a bank. So that's number 2. I'm writing these down because I'm going to write the description after I record this. So we connected, and so I made a challenge. And so I was coaching people at that time pretty heavy, and I was like, I'm going to raise money for this guy outside of the, coach him. And he can coach me. He's really gifted in finances. Like, he is a master spreadsheet guy. I mean, financial wizard is what I call him. So anyway, and so another thing you need to know is that he is a mentor. So he is an unsolicited mentor. So that's number 3. This is what I've learned from this story. Commercial money and mentor, number 3. Okay. So I wanted to prove this dude wrong, and I did. And so in his hometown, I showed him what banks to go to, how to talk to the banks. And sure enough, with his assets, that he had like 9 properties worth almost $1 million. He was cash flowing. He had 1 in Florida, and he had a bunch in his state. So I was like, cool. So next thing, long story short, he raised $500,000. Wow, it's possible. So he raised the money. Then we pushed it to another limit. And I was like, we need to try for you to raise money. So we've collaborated and like, hey, let's do real estate in Oklahoma City. You're in Oklahoma City, me, VanCauwenbergh, and you manage property all day. That's what I do all day long. Bang, 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 bang. And let me be a passive investor with you. And I was like, that's a great idea. So sure enough, we went to a couple banks. They turned us down. We don't deal with out-of-state and bankers, but we did find a banker in Oklahoma that would loan this individual money. And guess what? Guess how much did he get? He got $500,000 of a line of credit, or called the guidance line, in Oklahoma City. Wow, this is a great story, VanCauwenbergh. Where is this going? Right? Well, where it's going, so everything's going good. I got the deal, blah, blah, blah. Well, he has a full-time job, and he's doing well. He's building up his slow. He was slow and steady in his 9 units over a length of time. And he had a full-time job that paid really well. Life was great. And he knew that real estate, his job was kind of fickle. It could crash and burn real fast. And he, did real estate. He's a very smart, educated, several degree guy. And then he met me. And I don't know if I've desensitized him, but I was beating him up all the time. Bro, you got to get in real estate. You got to buy assets. What happens if you can't work no more? What if you can't do this? Where are you going to get this income? How many kids do you have? So on and so forth. Well, we invested, it did well, and we sold that asset and we made some money. blah, blah, blah. The story goes into this. He got let go from his job. Bang, bang, bang. And so, man, when my homie called me up and said, I just lost my job, I was like, the first thing is, as a normal survivor, typical male, let me help you. All right, how much money do you have in the bank? Let's go start buying assets today. How can we do it? How much do you need to live off of? Can you, where does your wife work? Where does she have does your kid, I was like just helping him. I'm like, felt like we were in a Titanic sinking, and he was coming up to me a lifeline. And I was like, the first thing I was like, this is great, bro. You can go full time in real estate. And he goes, yeah, man, I've always really wanted to go full time in the real estate. And I was like, let's do it. How many houses do we need to buy? He said, I need this much money to live, like $5,000, $6,000 a month. And I was like, cool. I think this is possible. And then I get nervous as a coach. I'm like, dude, does he have the tenacity? Does he have the grit? Can he hustle? Can he do it? And the homes that he has, now me, I'm in a middle class, low income. I got a couple high end. This guy, he has all high end homes. So that's one caveat you need to know. He's totally opposite of me. He's well educated. I'm undereducated. Has several degrees. He knows about money. I'm just figuring out how to manage this thing. And he loses his job. So I call him every day because I'm like, real friends need to be accountable. And so I call my homie every day. I'm like, dude, how are you doing? And I'm inside, I'm like crying. I'm like, oh my God, if this happened to me, what would I do? Holy shit. Oh my God, dude, do this. And he's like, bro, I'm thinking about joining and spending $20,000 in education. What? I was like, bro, how much money you got in the bank? I can't remember what he said. I think he said he had like $20,000 or $30,000 in the bank. And I was like, maybe even 50. It's irrelevant because what this dude did blew my mind. And I was like, no way. He's like, I'm going to pay 20 G's and hire a kind of a coach / training on apartments. And I was like, first of all, skeptical. There's a lot of charlatans running around taking people's 20, 30, 40,000. And most of that stuff boils down to the end user really not doing the work, right? Because that's the number one question. When people want me to coach them, I'm like, dude, how much time can you commit? For real. Like, you have a day job, and how bad do you want it? What are you willing to sacrifice? What meals are you going to miss? What TV show you're going to turn off if you really want to be wealthy? If you really want to be a millionaire, you got to do these key things, right? No one wants to give up Law and Order, right? No one wants to give up the hamburger on the corner, right? They don't want to sacrifice. They just want to live this fantasy love life of wealth in their mind. So anyway, I was like kind of scared of my homie. I was like, all right, man, good luck. Peace out. So honestly, I drifted from that guy in a short amount of time. I mean, I called him every other week or every week in the beginning, and then every 2 weeks. And this mother effer grinded it out. When I called him about every couple weeks, I was like, bro, how you doing? Man, I'm learning so much about apartments. I'm learning this thing called NOI. I'm learning this, and you got to have a proper random, and you got to hire an FCC attorney. I'm going to hire an FCC attorney. What? I'm like, bro, how much is an FCC attorney? An FCC attorney normally is like 15 G's to set up your private placement memorandum. I'm like, what the is it? Remember, and he's like, I'm learning about syndicating money. And then I'm almost trained, and I got this great mentorship. And I'm like, dude, wow, maybe I should join this deal. And so for 10 months, this dude died. No job. Okay. Had a, 6-figure job, no job, living off of savings, off of some of his rentals, because he had 9 units, which brought in a couple thousand. And he went to school again. And we can call it real estate school, whatever. So he would call me, man, I got this apartment and I'm negotiating, but these owners are shady. And he's telling me all this stuff. And then that deal fell through. Then another deal fell through. And then another deal fell through. And it was like, wow, dude, I knew this ain't back in my mind. I was like, homie, I love you. I'm your boy. I'm up here, VC, OKC, killing it. Jump on the trade. Ain't nobody down with the real estate. And anybody want to work hard on the single fam. And so long story short, this dude popped a deal. He got a deal. It's a 101 apartment building and it was a C, like a D class, like it was ghetto. Like 80% of the tenants in this apartment building were Section 8. And so his goal was to take it from a D minus to a B to a C minus. And this dude, and I remember, I have some background. I've written 5 books. That don't mean I'm special, man. I've rehabbed probably 40, 50 houses in my lifetime. I've lost money. I've owned apartments in my lifetime. I've died. I've won. I've died. I came back, killed it, wanted to quit, done all that, been there. Going through, helping him on the phone, him dealing with contractors, getting, I don't want to say RAP something, but getting beat up, taken advantage of, misled. So let me give you some perspective. So the deal was $3 million acquisition. He got a non-recourse loan from Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, one of the government institutions, for $2.6 million. This guy's so savvy, raised $1 million by syndication. He got $1.2 million, and he needed $600,000 to rehab this thing. This is what this dude did, rehabbed this property. So he raised the money, got all the money, and then started rehabbing this monster 100-unit apartment building. And this guy died. I'm telling you, man, he called me up and, getting beat up by contractors, the wrong material, putting it in wrong, people stealing, property management problems, got to let one go, got to hire one. He was like, man, I cannot wait to get this dude on the radio. All the stuff that he went through, he's like, man, a couple things that I learned right out the gate. You should hire a property manager before you take the property over, because it set him back 3 or 4 months trying to get acclimated with a right property manager. And so within I'm not sure how long the process took, about 6 to 10 months to fund the deal, somewhere around there. And then less than a year to rehab this, $600,000. The dude just got it 100% occupied. He did it. He freaking did it. 100 and something units, 100% were occupied. And I asked this dude, I'm like, bro, how much you making? He's like, I'm netting $5,000 a month. And he's not there. He got another job. He's living his dream, going the distance, and he did it. So what's the point of this whole thing? You can do it. That's I wouldn't say he's average, but he lived an average life. He does not live an average life now. No, he lives above an average life. Let me say, to me, he's one of my most educated friends out there. He reads a book a week. He studies. He's young. He's under 40, around 40, and he's just crushing it and owns an apartment building. I was like, dude, let's do this Oklahoma City. Let's do it in Oklahoma City. No, I'm going to focus in my market. I'm going to master my market. I'm going to be the apartment king in my market, and then I'm going to go out. The guy raised millions of dollars, bought an apartment building, and his life's forever changed. In 3 to 5 years, I'm not sure, he's got this financial plan written out through the mentorship that he's going to refinance it, pull all his money back out, and the machine will continue to throw off this amount of money. And I say this information, I didn't ask my friend that I could tell this story, right? That's why I didn't say his name. I'm going to tell him when I cut this episode and get it out there. I'm going to say, hey man, I need you to listen to this episode, and then hopefully I can get him on the radio. And he hit 100. I mean, I can't even hit 100% occupied. Now, this guy hit this apartment building was several hours from his home. He drove all the time. He sacrificed himself, his family, and the result is incredible. And the thing is like, I felt that now through that, living through him vicariously, I feel like I can do it. And I just want you guys to know, that's why I wrote the book, The Savvy Landlord, is that I want you to go through it. And when you read that book, this VanCauwenbergh dude can do it, can buy 160 units with no money, broke, starting from nothing, no education, brother foster home, mom single. My mom lived in the 1-bedroom living room while I lived in the 1-bedroom. And you can do it. That's the thing. So I know right now there's somebody out there that's struggling. Like, man, I can't get a deal, or banks have turned me down. My credit score is not good enough. All those things are lies. You can do it. You just have to believe that you can do it. read about other people, see they can do it, find a mentor, go to the RIAs, go to events, learn about commercial money, and grow your business. And next thing you know, that dude wasn't a multimillionaire, and now he is. He wasn't a millionaire when he started. So check that out. Well, yeah, I guess he was almost, yeah, he had $1 million net worth, but he wasn't living like one. And now he's living like one. All within a year and a half time of sacrifice. Ask yourself, what is it worth to you? What sacrifices are you willing to make to live the life that you want to live? Ask yourself that, and then go do it.
Thanks for listening to The Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.